All right, let's bring you the latest on the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. The Nigerian Senate has removed the Contentious Clause 84 from the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. The clause, which imposes direct primaries on political parties, was expunged on Wednesday's plenary after the upper legislative house dissolved into the Committee of the Whole to consider President Buhari's observations on the Electoral Bill. The Senate made the necessary amendments in accordance with Order 87, subsection C of the Senate Standing Orders. President of the Senate says other observations cited by other lawmakers will be reflected at the administrative level before it is sent to President Buhari for assent. I have joining me the Executive Director, Lead Network, Chukuma Kenwa, for more on this. Good to have you join us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So this has been a subject of debate, and rightly so, because we're now in the election season and people believe that, look, it is time, let's have a working document for INEC. But the president did not assent to the previous Electoral Act Amendment Bill that was sent to him. And now that particular clause that the president seemed to have a problem with, which is the fact that direct primaries was imposed on political parties, has now been expunged. What do you make of this?
It is a welcome development because I've always wondered if that direct primary clause was actually added as a distraction to the main thing. What Nigerians are yearning for is for digitalization and digitization of the process. We want to see the electronic transmission of results. We want to see certain technological deployment that will help to improve the process. As for whether direct primaries will help to make the process more credible, making it compulsory for all the political parties is not right. And guess what? The major thing that those parties or those legislators were trying to run away from, maybe like when you look at the aspect of indirect primaries, where like delegates are nominated, are supposed to be elected by party members, and then those delegates will now choose the flag bearers. If we do not deliberately improve on those processes, we could also even see governors still hijack the process of direct primaries. Because of course, we could even see situations where non-party members could be given cards just at the last minute. Certain persons could be recruited as party members, and at the end of the day, the process would still not be credible. So what I think I would advise all political stakeholder is to always think of improving the process, because whether you are talking about any of the process, you will have to deal with people. And when we don't place the checks to counter all those excesses, certainly corruption is corruption. People will always find a way to perpetrate a certain crime, especially when it comes to elections.
And you raised a very interesting point, because this is really about improving the credibility of the process, and people believe that, look, anyone can circumvent any process if they actually want to, especially when there is if there are no penalties for that kind of situation. But there are those who are now saying, maybe we are rushing with this document. This is a legal document that INEC needs to work with. Maybe we need to take our time to have something that works, something that can guarantee a credible document. But others believe, look, there is the urgency of the time. We need to do something as fast as possible, just so that INEC can have something to work with in 2023 elections. What would you support? That we take our time to get something that works, or that we hurry up with this particular document?
The most important thing is that we have a workable document now, and time is not our friend. We saw how that was jettisoned in the last electoral cycle, and if nothing is done speedily, maybe it could be excused on the fact that we don't have all of the time, to either pass the bill or for the presidential assent. So I think it is right to be prompt with it, so that INEC would have a working document. Of course, INEC has already rolled out the election timetable, and there is certainly no time. All of the processes is expected to start fully by next month, like parties are already thinking of conventions and all the rest. So where is the time? So promptness, of course, is advised, so that we don't, keep ourselves at one point We had all of the time to have made these amendments from the last time we had the election. But since that it didn't happen, there shouldn't be any excuse for doing that same part that we did in 2019, which certainly affected the credibility of the process.
Let me, just before I let you go, let me ask you about the statement made by the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, when he was at the UNILAG convocation ceremony. He said, he talks about reviewing the minimum education qualification for elective offices, that should be reviewed. As we speak, as long as you have, I think it's a school, senior secondary school certificate examination result, you can be the president of the country. He said that should be reviewed. What's your thought on that? And do you think that that should be something that should be included in the Electoral Act Amendment Bill?
Honestly, it is not necessary. As advanced as the U.S. is, you don't even need an O level to become the U.S. president. We should be focusing more on credibility. The certificate that we need now, people that have the character, the credibility, and the competence, people who have had criminal records should not, present themselves for service to the nation. These are the real things we should be looking at. I mean, for someone to have like a degree and all the rest, if the person doesn't have the requisite character, the person cannot be able to deliver. I want to take a quote from Mandela. He said something. He said, a good head and a good heart will always make a formidable combination. I think we need leaders that can think right, leaders that have large hearts, leaders that we esteem the people's interest above selfish interest. And with that, we are sure that Nigeria will be on the right path of recovery.
Thank you so much. Always great to talk to you. This is Executive Director, Lead Network, Chukwuma Kenwa. Thanks for talking to us.
Yeah, thank you.